back at their benches as we await the introduction of the starting lineup. And now we're set. So here is the PA voice of the Celtics, Andy Jick.
And the Boston Celtics. Ladies and gentlemen, this past summer, the basketball world and the Celtics lost one of its brightest stars when Reggie Lewis tragically passed away. Reggie enriched the lives of everyone who knew him or who had the pleasure of watching him play. The city of Boston, the Celtics, and all of our fans have been greatly enhanced as a result of his personal contributions. The Celtics now ask you to join them in a moment of silent reflection on the extraordinary life of Celtics number 35, Reggie Lewis.
I would like you, the fans, to join the Celtics organization and also the players in dedicating this year to our late captain, Reggie Lewis. Thank you.
Classic television. Hogan's Heroes.
Green Acres.
Arnold Zoo.
Welcome back to the Boston Garden, and we are now set for the introductions of both the New York Knicks and the Boston Celtics.
Number 20, Rolando Blackman. At forward from St. Louis at number 4, Anthony Bonner. At guard from Ohio State, number 9, Tony Campbell. At guard from North Carolina, number 44, Hubert Davis. At forward from Tennessee State, number 14, Anthony Mason. And at center from Ohio State, number 32, Herb Williams. And now the starting lineup for the Knicks. At guard from Oklahoma State, 6'5", number 3, John Stark. The other guard is from Marquette, 6'4", number 25, Dr. Rivers. At forward from Virginia Union, 6'9", number 34, Charles Oakley. The other forward from Pittsburgh, 6'10", number 54, Charles Smith. And at center from Georgetown, 7 foot even, number 33, Patrick Ewing. Trainer of the Knicks is Mike Saunders, assisted by Tim Walsh. Assistant coaches Dick Harder and Jeff Van Gundy. Head coach Pat Riley. And now introducing the Boston Celtics. At guard from North Carolina State, number 12, Chris Corciani. At forward from Iowa, number 55, A.C. Earl. At guard from North Carolina, number 44, Rick Fox. At forward from Wichita State, number 31, Xavier McDaniel. At guard from Purdue, number 27, Jimmy Oliver. At forward from Croatia, number 40, Dino Raja. And at center from North Carolina, number 50, Matt Wenstrom. With the Celtics on the bench tonight, not dressed due to a back injury, number 4, Ala Abdel Nabi. And now the starting lineup for the Celtics at guard from Jacksonville, 6'1", number 7, D. Brown. The other guard is from Syracuse, 6'1", number 20, Sher number 34, Kevin Gamble. At the other forward, from Villanova, 6'9", the number 54, Ed Pinckney. And at center, 7'1" absence from center, number 0. Trainer of the Celtics is Ed Lacerte. Assistant coaches, Don Casey, John Jennings, and Dennis Johnson. Head coach, Chris Ford.
Well, the Celtics went through a good preseason record of 6-3, but yesterday Chris Ford was unhappy with his team's practice session. John talked with Chris prior to the game and asked, are the Celtics ready for the Knicks tonight?
I think we're ready. Yesterday's practice was one of 27 days of hard physical workouts, and it was just a dog days. And I just tried to kick him in the butt to get him a little bit ready for today. And I think that, you know, everyone is picking the Celtics for being down this year. Everyone's picking us to be a lottery team, and we're just ready to disprove that. And when you have the competitive juices going, and when someone says you can't do it, you really want to go out there and prove them wrong.
Well, the Boston Celtics have not lost a home opener since 1978, a streak of 14 in a row. Remember, last season the Knicks snapped that 23-game regular season home losing streak in Boston, and the Knicks have won their last 2 games here on the parquet floor.
Doc Rivers pointed out recently that he's never lost here as a member of the Knicks team. The man with the ball in the backcourt now only knows winning as a member of the Knicks. They won twice here last year.
And you saw the list of the officials as Bruce Alexander makes the call. It is a holding foul. It's Bruce Alexander with Jess Kersey and Jim Kinsey. Foul called on Ed Pinckney. Ed Pinckney making his return. Played only 7 games last year, coming back from surgery. Nice fake. And Patrick Ewing has given the Knicks a 2-0 lead.
On that reverse move, Patrick got that step closer to the hoop that made it impossible for Parrish to deal with.
Sherman Douglas guarded by Doc Rivers. And now Parrish isolated on Ewing. They collapse on him. Parrish forced it.
Isn't that something? It didn't look as though he could even see the basket, but heck, he's been here for 14 years. He can shoot almost with his eyes closed in the Boston Garden.
Nice drop step move by Charles Smith. The Knicks with a 4-2 lead. We're just underway in Boston. The Boston Celtics going through difficult times, starting with the death of Reggie Lewis last July. He was their best player, so obviously they will suffer competitively and emotionally because Reggie was an extremely popular individual. 3-pointer for Sherman Douglas.
Well, if you wanted to be corny, Marv, you could say, I think Reggie Lewis is looking down on his team right now and sending good vibes out. There have been 2 rather spectacular shots here by the home team to open up the season.
Boston 5, the Knicks 4. Oakley from deep. Parrish with the rebound. D. Brown met by Doc Rivers. Kevin Gamble shooting. Celtics 7, the Knicks 4.
Charles Smith has a big challenge in playing the much smaller Gamble much closer than he just did. Gamble can kill him from outside.
Parrish broke it up. Gamble held by Smith. Oakley felt he was shoved by Gamble and says something to Kevin Gamble.
Gamble very aggressive going after this ball. And I think he knew where he was going, Marv. Charles Oakley known as a man who dishes out plenty of that stuff, and Gamble just didn't hold up and wanted to rock Charles, I would think.
Celtics have hit their first 3 shot attempts. Illegal defense called for the first time, so Boston will get a new 24. This an emotional night for the Boston Celtics. If you were with us earlier, you saw the moment of silence for the Celtics former captain Reggie Lewis. Robert Parrish, the new captain of the club, went to the microphone and announced that the Celtics are dedicating this season to the memory of Reggie Lewis. Douglas tried to go to his left, but had the alley closed. Again, the double team. Smith stripped Parrish. Nice feed for Starks, and he's fouled by Brown. And a good play by D. Brown, bracing the fall of John Starks.
A very exciting play by D. Brown, playing defense. Parrish is not one of his stronger points, is not dribbling the ball, and the Knicks know it, and they were all over him. Now Starks wanted to explode for a dunk, but hey, he's up against the former slam dunk champion who can really leap. D. Brown was right with him.
So Starks will shoot a couple. Now wait a moment. One shot for John Starks. We'll have to get the explanation on that. And a foul has been called. It's a blocking foul. Apparently we didn't see the indication, John. There was a goaltend, and John Starks also just had it explained to him. So the basket did count, plus the one. Illegal defense call. Second time against the Knicks. And that is a technical foul. Kevin Gamble will shoot the tee. It's Boston 7 and the Knicks 6.
Well, the Knicks open up the season here in the first under actually 3 minutes of the game with 2 illegal defense calls. The Celtics coming out similar to the Knicks and going to their big man right away, obviously trying to get Patrick Ewing in foul trouble.
And now a conference at midcourt, and Jess Kersey, the lead official, has called over the 2 coaches. Chris Ford and Pat Riley discussing matters. Perhaps they're still discussing the Starks play with D. Brown going after him, and it's
Starks having the ability to go above the rim and put the ball down, and D. Brown, with his great leaping ability, had the ability to knock it away. That ball was on the way down in the eye of the official, and it was sent away. Thus the goaltend.
Now they are giving Starks another free throw. Now apparently at first the thought was it was a goaltend, and that's why they only had him shoot the one free throw. And now the ruling was it was not a goaltend, and he took the 2 foul shots. This is Gamble shooting the technical because of the illegal defense. John, this is a bizarre start.
So the officials are just taking us down one road and having us explain it one way. It's not that way.
Well, they took away the Starks basket. It was not a goaltend. So it is now 8-5 Boston. That's what I could not understand. Are we back to one-shot free throw situations? Patrick Ewing was called for that last foul, and now a loose ball foul on Douglas. The Celtics with an 8-5 lead on the Knicks. We're just underway at the Boston Garden.
One of the things the Knicks want to feature more of is this year is faster ball movement. That resulted in a turnover, not successfully done.
Douglas and Brown at the guards, Parrish, Pinckney, and Gamble up front. Ed Pinckney putting moves on Charles Oakley through the double team. Here's Brown. And Rivers fires it down. It's a 2-on-1. Smith from Starks. Celtics lead 8-7.
That's part two of what the Knicks want to do this year, and that is push the ball up court on turnovers, get quicker reactions offensively to make it more difficult for the defense. The Knicks did it beautifully.
Here's Gamble.
What a tough shot. He was under pressure.
Kevin Gamble shot 51% last season, which was actually subpar for him. A lifetime 53% field goal shooter. And the foul is called on Gamble.
Kevin Gamble at 6'5", matched against the 6'10" Charles Smith, and the Knicks are going to that advantage that they have, and they already got dividends.
Ewing with the fadeaway. Second field goal, 4 points for Ewing. Celtics by 1.
Celtics clearing out now to let the quicker Gamble work on the slower Smith, but Gamble settling for the jump shot made it easy for Charles.
Ewing with the step.
Oakley now on Parrish.
Parrish using the height advantage as the Knicks switched up down low. Boston 12, the Knicks 9. Rivers won't count. Offensive foul. So Doc Rivers called for the foul. Timeout taken. 6:46 left in the first. Led by the Czar of Cleveland now. They open up against Milwaukee at home tonight.
Good moment for the Knicks now on that missed Celtic shot. Doc Rivers getting rid of that ball quickly to John Starks, who moved it to the fleet-footed Charles Smith, who ran the court well and made it impossible for the Celtics. Knicks shooting well, the Celtics a little better.
Knicks doubling up on Douglas. Both clubs remain the same following the timeout. Illegal defense called for the third time against the Knicks, and Pat Riley is upset. So a second technical foul has been awarded.
Marv, it's interesting that the Celtics, much like the Knicks are doing, are going to their big man initially. They're looking to get the ball to Parrish as much as possible, and they are, and Parrish is very much a factor here against the Knicks. You can see Ewing floating over there in the middle, trying to lean in to help out on Parrish.
Boston with a 12-9 lead. 6:25 remaining in this first quarter. And again, an illegal defense. Has there been an illegal defense memo sent out to the official? That's number 4. And Gamble will shoot another technical.
Well, the basic rule is that you've got to stay with your man, or when you decide to double team, you've got to commit fully to double teaming and get over to that man you're trying to double team. You can't cheat and be a little bit of both.
Nice ball movement. D. Brown finished it off. Celtics 15 and the Knicks 9. Starks lost it. Last touch by the Celtics. D. Brown argues the call, but it will be Nick Ball with 13 on the 24. Pat Riley working behind Jess Kersey, and Jess will not look at him. Pat wanted an explanation with the 4 illegal defensive calls coming against the Knicks here in the early going.
It seemed that last year you saw less and less of defensive calls of that nature, of the illegal defense. Now to start the season, it's quite unusual to see this a factor so early.
Traveling violation. Rivers called for steps. A sloppy start here by the Knicks, not able to get into any kind of rhythm. Now at times the Knicks will struggle to score. They're going through that right here. They double up on Douglas. Gamble. Meanwhile, the Celtics are hitting their shots, and they lead 17-9.
Nobody can beat that formula in basketball. If you're hitting your shots, nice release by D. Brown to Gamble as well.
Power move by Ewing off the drop step. He has 6 points, and it's Boston by 6.
Celtics looking to push the ball much as the Knicks are.
Foul called on Oakley. Charles trying to help out. That will put Parrish at the line.
Time was when Sherman Douglas held the ball so much as a backcourt man, going back to his days at Syracuse. Now he has learned to push the ball up the court quickly, and the Celtics, led by this aging man, 40-year-old, who gets down the court as well as any center in the NBA, it seems, throughout his whole career, are getting advantages now by their hustling the ball up court and getting the ball to Robert.
Led by this aging man, huh?
As we all are.
Who is in excellent shape. He did have ankle problems last year, but missed only 3 games.
Looking at Robert Parrish's career rankings, just incredible. He's right up at the top, challenging the leader in any category, whether it be games played or scoring or rebounding. He's one of the greats of the NBA, and people are recognizing it now with McHale and Bird gone. Parrish is the man.
Crowd wanted to travel. Anthony Mason has come on for Charles Smith. Oh, the rejection by Parrish.
For some reason, Patrick Ewing thought he could come in with a one-handed slam dunk, but he turned the ball right into the presence of Robert Parrish, as you see right here. Made it rather easy for Robert.
Knicks have 7 on the shot clock. Down to 3. Rivers. Yes. Doc Rivers with just 2 seconds remaining on the 24, hitting the off-balance jump shot, and the Knicks trail by 6.
Now this is the half-court game that the Celtics have been forced into now.
And Kevin Gamble did well to get that over the outstretched arm of Patrick Ewing.
He's very effective going left, even though he's a right-handed shooter.
Gamble has 10 points. He's hit 4 out of 5. Rivers for 3. Yes! Doc Rivers hitting from downtown. Nice play by Ewing getting back. Douglas trying to lead Parrish. Boston 21 and the New York Knicks 16 with 4:22 to go in this opening quarter. This is the first of 4 Knicks-Celtic games this season. Last year the Knicks took 4 out of 5 against Boston. Rivers spotting up for the 3 again. Mason gets inside on the box out and lost it. Chris Ford has stayed with the same lineup throughout. Gamble now being guarded by Mason. Pick and roll. Parrish. Beautifully executed.
Parrish looks sensational here in the opening quarter.
Starks lost his balance. 2-on-1. Oakley back. Douglas alley-oop foul. Back comes Rivers. Starks for 3. Yes. Another 3-pointer for the Knicks. And John Starks has brought the Knicks within 4. 3.5 remaining. First quarter. Marv Albert, John Andres on opening night in the NBA. Doc Rivers wanted a foul. He felt Douglas should have been called for a charge. Parrish again.
What a shocking greeting Parrish has presented to the Knicks and Patrick Ewing.
Robert Parrish 4 of 4 from the field. He has 10 points. Mason with the room. Line drives it home, and the Knick offense picking up. They now trail 25-21.
Mason, an improved jump shooter, and is expected, and Pat Riley wants him to shoot the ball more this year, so he will play with a lot more confidence on the offensive end.
Kind of a rugged preseason for Anthony Mason. Pat Riley was not happy with the kind of shape that he came to camp in. Was overweight, worked it off, and has worked his way back into the good graces of the coaching staff.
I think Anthony Bonner helped as well, Marv. He arrived and playing similar style game to Mason did very well.
Patrick Ewing was upset about that call. That's his second foul. Timeout has been taken with 2:38 to go in the first.
Now the Knicks 2 out of 3 so far. The Celtics, who rarely shoot threes, have already hit one. Good ball movement by the Knicks, finding Doc Rivers wide open. Doc settles himself and knocks that one home. And the Knicks' favorite three-point jump shooter, John Starks, wide open. He's very comfortable from long range, knocked in the other one.
And both teams have shot well here in the first quarter. Boston 10 of 14. The Knicks, after the slow start, 9 of 14 from the field. 2:38 remaining in this opening quarter, and the Celtics with a 25-21 advantage. I mentioned the Knicks playing at Cleveland on Sunday, and they'll open at Madison Square Garden Tuesday night. That's the home opener against Sean Bradley and the Philadelphia 76ers. That'll be Tuesday night, game time on MSG, 7:30. Knicks game night at 7.
Well, the Celtics are playing excellent basketball early in the game. You see Parrish come over as if he's going to set a pick. Very lightly suggests it and then breaks to the basket. Got the beautiful return pass and work down low. Parrish looks like an NBA All-Star here in the opening quarter of the season.
And John, we talked right at the start of the telecast about the Knicks being so concerned about Robert Parrish. Patrick Ewing in the past had difficulties with Parrish, had great respect for Robert. Patrick growing up in this area, saw a lot of Robert Parrish as a fan of the stands at Boston Garden. But last season, I thought for the first time, Ewing got the best of Parrish for the most part.
Yes, he did, Marv. And some of those games, I think Parrish was also affected by his injuries. He's had various injuries over the years. It really hasn't added up to much, though. But he has played while hurt, and he wasn't as effective. This is a 40-year-old guy who looks great. He does not play basketball during the summer. He spends his time working on martial arts training, and he stays in magnificent shape, which is the reason he's here, as did Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who played till his age. Also, Kareem played 20 years in the league. But Parrish, I think, has been greeted so much by the press so well, I think as much out of respect as anything. But here he is playing tonight like he's an outstanding performer that he has been over the years, and he's certainly doing it now.
As you can see, they are having problems with a slippery Boston Garden floor. There was a Boston Bruins game last night. The ice is underneath the parquet, and that is the reason for this long delay.
You know how there are people and things that are part of a building? Well, that gentleman with the fedora who was doing the sweeping, Marv, is as much a part of this building to me as the PA announcer's voice or some of the familiar sights around here, you know?
John, I myself never saw him before in my life, and I've been here quite a bit. I think this is, in fact, I'm just being told this is his first appearance.
Marv, it's my job as a color man to point these things out, things that you don't see that are actually in front of you.
John, you mentioned the martial arts skills of Robert Parrish. Has your tennis game been helped by the martial arts program that you have gone through these past couple of summers?
You know, that's a very constructive suggestion. I think I'm going to go in that direction. In the winter, though.
It was meant in constructive fashion.
I haven't engaged in it, but there might be something to that. It certainly is for this man.
All right, substitutions for the Knicks. Greg Anthony has come on for the first time, and for the Celtics, Dino Rajda out of Croatia. A member of Croatia's Olympic team. There he is, wearing number 40. Second-round draft pick back in 1989. Played the last 2 years in Italy. Averaged 20 points, shot 61% last 3 years in the Italian league. The major question concerning Rajda, who did extremely well in international competition. Can he take the banging at the NBA level? He'll get the test tonight going up against the likes of Charles Oakley and Anthony Mason. Loose ball foul is called right there on Rajda.
Well, it looks like he did a little banging and following up for that rebound.
Well, they changed it. It's Gamble called for the foul, not Rajda. Gamble from the other side. Robert Parrish hears it from the crowd as he sits down. 11 points for Parrish. And he is replaced by the Celtics #1 draft pick. There he is, A.C. Earl, rookie out of Iowa, who is noted as a shot blocker. As Robert Parrish says, a guy who has a lot of confidence. In fact, Robert, in an aside, wondered why he had that much confidence. He still has a long way to go.
He suggested he had more confidence than ability, but he says that isn't bad for a rookie.
Right.
It's good.
26-21, Boston with the lead as we come up on 2 minutes remaining. First quarter, Anthony guarding Douglas. Gamble played by Mason. Herb Williams has replaced Patrick Ewing, and he is guarding the rookie Earl. And Gamble, Rajda got a piece of it, and Starks in possession. Starks going all the way, and he drew the foul. A beautiful change of pace move by John Starks, and that will put him at the line.
Well, John pushing the ball up court with the head up, looking for opportunity, and then bursts down the middle. John Starks has been described as a bulkier player with his off-season work with the weights. He does look more developed in the upper body. And John Starks gets better and better as the years go on now. You can see his numbers, second leading scorer on the Knicks team last year, and a man who's become a cover boy on many of the preseason basketball magazines. Starks has been recognized certainly around the country now as a budding all-star. He's a step away.
Xavier McDaniel, the one-time Knick, has come on for the first time as the Celtics face the pressure. McDaniel with a look away. Oh, what a play! A look-away pass from McDaniel to Earl. Boston leads 28-23.
Boy, they caught Herb Williams sleeping.
Mason gets inside. Anthony Mason with an answer going right at Xavier McDaniel. Xavier trying to catch Greg Anthony, who was not looking, trying to pick him off at center court. Almost blindsided him. Rajda called for steps.
Talking to Chris Ford before the game about this man, Rajda, he went on, and basically what he said, Marv, was that he's comfortable anywhere on the court, whether it be in close or from the corner. He's got a lot of skills.
Still, though, needs time to adjust, and defense is the question. Just Kersey with the indication of a elbowing foul on the Knicks. And Boston gets it back. No, apparently illegal pick was set. One of the Knicks came from out of bounds to set that pick.
Great helping play by John Starks, stealing that ball from the Celtics.
Starks with the spin, and he drew the foul. So again, John Starks to the line.
John Starks is now advertising his absolutely wild skills. When he gets the ball, he's just exploding by people. He's creating moves all by himself.
A.C. Earl called for that foul. Starks 3 of 4 from the line. Earlier in preseason, bothered by an injured hip. Here's another look at the spin move by Starks.
Well, he initially faced 2 defenders, and he beats his one man and then draws the foul on the third defender forced to deal with him.
So the Knicks pull within 1. 50 seconds remaining in the first quarter. It has been a very long first quarter. Are we coming at the end of the first quarter or halftime, John? Do you believe this?
Those illegal defenses slowed things down.
4 illegal defense. calls against the Knicks.
I asked the official Bruce Alexander about that. He said the Knicks defenders were just lagging as they crossed the middle. They were hanging around the middle too long, not staying with their men.
McDaniel to the fadeaway. Oakley for Mason. And the Knicks regroup. Mason posting up. A.C. Earl doing a nice job off the board.
Tough to do it. Oakley had inside position, and Earl reached over him.
First quarter winding down. 5 seconds remaining. Down to 3. Douglas. McDaniel tips it. It counts.
That's what happens when you don't box people out.
After 1 at the Boston Garden. Celtics 30. The Knicks 27.
Well, the X-Man coming in from the corner unguarded. No one even noticed him. And in a very brief appearance, he's done some nice things for the Celtics. A little sense of relief on the Knicks bench as they close that burst that the Celtics presented them with in the opening moments of this game. Starks and Ewing talking. Patrick Ewing very familiar with the surroundings here, having grown up in Cambridge. There's a look at Patrick Ewing. Cambridge Ringe Latin High School. Across the river from here.
It will be Celtics ball to begin the second quarter. Celtics ball.
Second quarter underway, and the Celtics with a 30-27 lead on the Knicks. Brown and Douglas at the guards. Earl, Rajda, McDaniel up front.
What a great rebound by Oakley.
And Douglas recaptures. Here's Brown for 3.
That's why he's not going to be considered a 2-guard, a shooting guard. He just cannot shoot the ball effectively enough. And his experience as a point guard isn't there. He's really an in-between guard.
Hubert Davis, who just checked in. And we'll be seeing more and more playing time. Well, Anthony got picked off. Xavier McDaniel was trying to do that at midcourt just moments ago, and he just got him with that blind side shot.
Celtics pushing the ball up court, and Xavier decked Greg Anthony. Days of Rick Mahorn doing that. More at half court, though.
Yes, that is one out of the pages of Rick Mahorn. Rick Fox has checked in for the first time, and now Fox guarding Davis. Good defensive work by Rajda. The Knicks now have Herb Williams up front with Anthony Mason and Charles Smith. Greg Anthony and Hubert Davis in the backcourt. Both clubs shot well in the first quarter, a long first quarter. Knicks sloppy at the start, been able to settle down, got into the flow. Boston has a 1-point lead. Shot clock is down to 5. It's down to 3. Davis, yes, and it counts, a 3-pointer, and the foul. Hubert Davis flinging from downtown with the shot clock running out.
Well, Mason didn't want to force the shot, but there was virtually no time left. You can see the shot clock at 0 as that ball goes into the basket. And Marv, you were mentioning Hubert Davis. Another look at Hubert under the pressure of a much taller, 3 inches taller, Rick Fox. And Davis comes through. You were mentioning how he will be playing more. Well, Pat Riley announced that clearly the other day as training camp wound down, that he will be the number 2 guard behind the starting number 2 guard, John Starks. And right away, Hubert has shown his value.
So the Knicks take a 33-30 lead, a 4-point play. That's a traveling violation. Hubert Davis with a 4-point play. Minute and a half gone by in the second quarter.
How about Hubert trying to post up Rick Fox? Both North Carolina graduates greeted each other emotionally before the game.
Herb Williams, and he comes up hobbling. Last Knicks 4-point play, John Starks did it against Golden State back in '92.
So Ewing got those 2 early fouls, and that's why Pat Riley undoubtedly is sitting him more now. So you know Ewing is very unhappy. He hates to sit.
Rogda with the follow. Nice pass from A.C. Earl to set it up.
I don't get a sense of Herb Williams' presence yet in the game now. He's getting some good minutes now, and he's kind of not really banging hard enough, I don't think, for Pat Riley.
Anthony. Rebounded by Rogda. Anthony looking for the steal on Douglas. Dino Rogda. Knicks lead by 3. 2.5 gone by in the second. Oh, Anthony Mason around. Dino Rogda. Yes, and it counts. Anthony Mason showing his quickness.
Good move by Mason off that fine pass by Greg Anthony. Rogda didn't present himself as a defensive obstacle at all. He didn't hold his position, or he didn't back up and protect the basket. And the speed of Mason certainly was clear on that play.
And then Rogda forced to just flick the elbow out, was called for the foul. Chris Corchiani, new addition to the Celtic roster, has come on for the first time in his 3rd NBA season from North Carolina State. Here's some pressure by the Knicks. We'll be seeing more and more of this as the season progresses. Hubert Davis just lost his balance and fell down. He's shaken up.
Marv, what we're witnessing now is the respective benches of both teams. It's been generally acknowledged that the Knicks certainly have the best bench in the Atlantic Division and perhaps in the NBA. And right now we're seeing bench against bench. And it's clear the Knicks are superior at this point.
Herb Williams called for the foul. We talked at the start of the telecast with Pat Riley concerning how he will use his rotation, and he has already gone deep into the roster, and we're early second quarter.
The only starter out there for both teams is Charles Smith.
Corchiani for Fox. Williams broke it up. Fox got a piece of it. So it will be Knick ball. 15-4 run by the Knicks. Knicks have Smith, Williams, Mason up front, Davis, and Anthony at the guards. Illegal pick, or did the Celtics battle through? Let's see. It's on Boston. It's on Rogda. That's his second. 3 minutes gone by in the second quarter. Knicks with their biggest lead of the night. Windmill effect defensive effort by Dino.
He gets television over in Europe.
Smith. Fox to the boards. Rick Fox coming off a disappointing second season after a very promising rookie year. Corchiani. Oh, McDaniel does not like the hand check from Smith. Pretty shot by the X-Man.
Boy, he owns that shot.
Smith. Well, he was wide open, and then the Celtics collapsed on him, and it led to another foul call.
Nice move by Charles and turning right away and going to the basket. No dribble, which allows the defense to come in on you. Let's take a look at McDaniel dishing out some punishment to Charles and then going to that characteristic patented fadeaway jump shot.
McDaniel called for the foul as second. Patrick Ewing has checked back in, and after Ewing went out, the Knicks did a nice job. They outscored Boston 11-4 with Patrick sitting down.
Knicks saw that in a very big emotional return to Phoenix in the exhibition season. Ewing went out at the end of the third quarter, and the Knicks were down deep, and they came back and won that game without Patrick on the floor. Good sign of their depth.
Rogda with a drop step. Oh! And tips it home.
Boy, is that tough to do for anybody in the NBA. That's a fine play by Rajda, following in his own shot to success.
He has 4 points. The Knicks lead by 4. Ewing trying to put a move on Earl, lost it off his foot. Patrick Ewing anxious to throw the fake at A.C. Earl and turned it over.
Patrick should use his superior strength now on Earl, and I don't think he needs to go through too many moves, just power his way to the basket.
Shot clock at 5. A.C. Earl rejected emphatically by Charles Smith. Well, Earl put the nice fake on Patrick Ewing, but Charles Smith was there to help out.
Yes, this is what helping defense is all about. Nice move by Earl, very deceptively executed. Charles Smith and his teammates enjoyed that. Even Earl did. He came up smiling.
2 on the 24. Earl. The Knicks 40 and the Celtics 36.
Got a comparison coming up, Marv. Already it hit me.
Oh, really? This is early.
Who Earl reminds me of loping up court.
You know, I was trying to figure out.
I got it.
As Hubert Davis continues the hot shooting.
It's so obvious. It's jumping out at me.
All right. Who?
Cedric. Cornbread.
Yeah, a bit. I hate to agree, but yes, there is something about the running style, the gait. It's G-A-I-T. McDaniel drew the foul. Celtics take the timeout. 5 minutes gone by in the second. Knicks lead by 6.
As a high school performer here in Cambridge, right across the river. And it was only earlier this week that Patrick joined several of his teammates at Wadley High School in West Harlem.
When I came here from Jamaica, you know, I couldn't wait to get here, you know, to try to make a better life for myself and for my family, and I finally had that opportunity. One of the goals that I set out for myself was to, you know, graduate from high school, graduate from college, you know, get that degree.
Patrick was speaking with his teammates at Wadley High School up at West 113th Street at Wadley High School in regard to the NBA stay-in-school program, which the Knicks and the NBA teams in general, really all of them do, and in supporting this very important program for youngsters.
6-point Knick lead, 6.5 remaining in the first half. Charles Smith with the fake. And the Knicks now lead by 8. 8 points for Smith. Nick Bench has done a nice job. They have hit 7 of 9 from the field, led by the hot Hubert Davis, who has connected on all 3 of his attempts. Corchiani getting the pick, running into Mason, lost it. Fox able to get back to retrieve. Raja. Again, the Knicks looking to break. Last touch by Fox. Fox got a piece of it.
You can see the difference in the Knicks' attempt to push the ball up court. It's working for them. Pat Riley must be pleased with this effort. There will be turnovers. He knows that. He expects it. But they're getting results by this effort to push the ball up court. Moments ago, Hubert Davis to Charles Smith was an example of that.
Dee Brown and Sherman Douglas come on for Chris Corchiani and Rick Fox. Ed Pinckney will check in a moment. Ewing. Patrick Ewing beating Robert Parrish off the dribble. 8 points for Ewing.
Boy, how the sport has changed. The 7-footer starting that move out high, a couple of dribbles, successfully done under a lot of intensity.
Knicks lead by 10. It's their biggest lead of the game. Parrish off the double pump. Robert Parrish shooting well. 5 for 5. 13 points.
There is just no answer to stopping Parrish for Ewing, and it works at the other end.
Anthony Mason with a nice move. The Knicks 48 and the Celtics 38. A red-hot shooting second quarter for the Knicks. 22nd timeout taken by the Celtics with 5:10 remaining in this first half. Celtics have not lost a home opener since back in 1978. That is a streak of 14 in a row.
Well, the Rangers return to the Garden this Monday, November 8th, to face the Tampa Bay Lightning at 7:35 p.m. All fans in attendance will receive a Rangers magnetic schedule, courtesy of Budweiser. Tickets are still available at the Garden box office and through Ticketmaster. To charge, call 212-307-7171.
Rangers with an impressive effort the other night. Steve Larmer making his Ranger debut and scoring a goal. They play at Quebec City tomorrow afternoon, and then the game against Tampa Bay on Monday. You can see the second quarter shooting. The Knicks 8 for 10. Boston only 4 for 13. Oakley, Ewing, Mason now up front. Anthony and Davis in the backcourt. So Hubert Davis remaining on the floor with the excellent touch. Brown. Brown did well to get that shot away. 48-40. Knicks with the lead. Parrish fronting Ewing. Nice ball movement. Oakley finding the open man, Mason.
That's what makes it work. That quick pass by Oakley. Mason's looking good too. He's hitting his outside shots. He's really in the groove.
Anthony 4 of 5, 11 points. That's Anthony Mason. And the Knicks now lead by 10. McDaniel with a driving hook. Ewing with the rebound. Knicks again look to run. Beautiful ball movement.
Anthony doing a nice job distributing the ball, looking for open people as he just did.
John Starks getting set to come back in. There's Brown. Brown on the foul. Celtics were looking for a foul, but D. Brown hung right in and was able to hit on the follow.
Yes, it looked like Ewing rocked Brown, but talk about physical strength. Brown, a thinly built guy, but boy, is he strong to withstand that and succeed as he did.
Knicks lead by 8. Anthony's pass picked off by McDaniel.
Celtics really don't want Brown as the lead guard handling this ball out front when Sherman is on the floor.
Parrish forced it. Not a good shot. Anthony hitting Mason, and he's fouled by Parrish. Beautiful pass from Greg Anthony. Threw it off the dribble. Substitutions. Doc Rivers, John Starks check in.
Anthony passed up Ewing, who was guarded. I had a sense that Ewing felt he should have gotten the ball, but the angle didn't favor him as much as it did Mason, who was flying down court. .304 remaining
in this first half. Knicks are 9 for 13 from the foul line. The Knicks went 7-1 in preseason, their winningest preseason mark since they were 9 up and 2 down back in the 71-72 season. They only lost a 76-75 defeat at San Antonio. They did play the fourth quarter in that game, though. Brown for 3. Obviously, the Celtics are looking for the three-pointer. Chris Ford encouraging his team to shoot from three-point range. Last year, they made only 110, by far the fewest in the league.
The irony of that, Marv, is that Chris Ford, when the three-point rule came in, was the first player to make a three-point shot in NBA history, but he doesn't want his team to do it. A real winner knows how to party right. Please use good sense when you drink and know when to say when. A reminder from Budweiser. Well, an offensive rebounding situation. Look at the Knicks. Look like they're in good position to rebound, but they don't place their bodies on the offensive men. That's what boxing out is, putting your body against the offensive men to not allow him inside. And the Celtics are killing the Knicks on the offensive boards.
Brown off the turnover. Douglas. The Celtics are 7 for 22 from the field. in the second quarter. Knicks 9 of 12. That's a lot of shots. 22 shots, 7 of 22.
That's where the offensive rebounding number comes in. They're getting more second shots.
Knicks lead 51-44. Rivers got the step. Oh, Rivers skying over Pinckney.
Unlike many players, he didn't try to dunk the ball, but he went to the backboard for the quicker release.
Doc 3 of 4. He has 7 points. Anthony Mason's the high man with 12. Here's Brown. D. Brown with 8 points. Ewing getting down, saved it.
I'm surprised Rivers did that. So tough for a long-range pass like that for the big man to deal with it.
The Knicks lead by 7. Minute 20 left in the half. Parrish had it knocked away. Brown with the recovery. Bad pass. So sloppy ball at both ends. Starks puts the move on Gamble. Sets up Rivers. Yes. The Knicks 55. The Celtics 46. 1 minute remaining. First half.
Knicks are getting back in their defensive transition very well. They're stopping intended fast breaks by the Celtics.
And Pinckney. Among the many problems the Celtics have this season will be locating a go-to guy. Oh, Mason with a wild shot. Anthony Mason actually got himself caught. He had nowhere to go, and so he flipped it on the glass, and it caromed home.
Well, when players are described as athletic, that's one of the reasons Mason would be. He found a way out even when he got tangled up due to his superior athleticism.
Last touch by Ewing. 15 and 8/10 seconds remaining in the half. Here's Herb Williams back for Patrick Ewing. Pat Riley looking to prevent Ewing from picking up a third foul, so Herb Williams is back. 8 on the shot clock. Knicks by 11 points. And this away from the ball as Starks became entangled with Brown and is called for the foul.
Well, Mason moments ago driving, stopped, spinning around and flipping that ball up instinctively off the backboard softly and in. That reminds me of a story in the Post earlier this week about Mason, who said when he was representing the Knicks at the stay-in-school program, saying to the young people who were listening now, when he tried out, he was about the 100th best player. The coach wasn't going to let him play, but he noted Mason had very good marks, so he said, I'm going to give you a chance. And that was his encouraging words to the youngsters in the audience to work harder on their books, and they might get a chance also to excel as he did.
Anthony Mason is the high man for the Knicks with 14. 22nd timeout taken by the Knicks. Well, at halftime, Mike Crispino manning the MSG Sports Desk. A look back at first half highlights. The Knicks have a 10-point lead. Got off to a slow start. Boston came out firing, led by Robert Parrish. Knicks settled down. They have shot well in this second quarter. They had that 15-4 run. And the Knicks bench has done the job here in the first half. Knicks have outscored the Celtics here in the second, 30-18. 15 seconds remaining in the half. Down to 5. Rivers for 3. And time runs out. So at the half on opening night of the NBA here in Boston, the Knicks 57 and the Celtics 48. Stay with us. We'll have our halftime right after these messages. Boston, the high man, Anthony Mason, leads the Knicks with 14. Robert Parrish, the high scorer for Boston with 15. Knicks 57, Celtics 48. Now let's go to Mike Crispino back at our New York studios.
Hi, everybody. Mike Crispino at the MSG Sports Desk with the Knicks leading at halftime. Their country cousins from across the river, the New Jersey Nets, are also opening their season away from home with a tougher assignment in the Houston Summit against one of the Western favorites, the Rockets. They're just underway in the first quarter, and Houston leads it by a score of 9-6. We'll have highlights at 11 on the Sports Desk. We get a first glimpse of the three-time defending champion Chicago Bulls tonight and find out just how good these guys are without the go-to guy, the best one of all time, Michael Jordan. Figured the Bulls for about 45 wins or so. They're looking for win number 1 tonight at Charlotte, and they're tied at 33 apiece in the second quarter. Pressure's on the Charlotte coach, Alan Bristow. He has all the components for a good playoff run himself, and he's got one of them working tonight. Hersey Hawkins hit a 3 to give Charlotte a 5-point lead in the first quarter. But B.J. Armstrong has been picking up some of the scoring slack left from Jordan's departure. He had 14 in the first quarter. Chicago had a 1-point lead at 30-29. It is now tied at 33 in the second quarter. The Cleveland Cavaliers under Mike Fratello, a kinder and gentler, supposedly, Mike Fratello, one of the Eastern contenders too. This man, the new one, Ken Norman in Milwaukee, hustling like he never did in Los Angeles. For the Clippers, had a big first quarter, 17 in the first half. This came at the end of the half from Danny Ferry. He hit a 3 and Cleveland led it 49-48 at halftime over the Milwaukee Bucks. Vince Coleman, the ex-Met, escaped a jail term for his firecracker-throwing antics in Los Angeles. Pleading down to a misdemeanor, he must pay restitution to his 3 victims and do 200 hours of community service, including physically removing graffiti from Los Angeles landmarks. Cleveland Indians pitcher Cliff Young died last night in an auto accident in his hometown in Willis, Texas. The 29-year-old is the 3rd Cleveland Indian pitcher, to die tragically this year. He leaves a wife and 2 sons behind him. We'll have more from the MSG Sports Desk in just a moment.
Sports Desk is brought to you by Alamo. There are over 4 million miles of roads in Alamo territory, and with Alamo, all those miles are free.
It stretches from Boston to Los Angeles, from Miami to Seattle. By any terms, this country is a pretty big place. And now through December 15th, American Express card members can visit all or part of it in a pretty big car. Just $44 a day for a Cadillac Sedan DeVille with unlimited free mileage when you rent from Alamo with the American Express card. Making it a pretty good time to get out and stretch your legs and perhaps your imagination.
You've never seen a camcorder like the Sharp View Cam. The viewfinder gone, replaced with this LCD view screen. You're right in the action. Gretzky scores? Let's go to the replay. Then, play it back instantly with color and sound. Want to see that again?
The Sharp View Cam, an absolute original.
So your first goal, Ty, and birthdays, graduations, your wedding, your kids, my grandchildren.
Sports Desk is brought to you by Sharp Electronics Corporation. From sharp minds come sharp products.
The Giants face a team that everyone expects to go back to the Super Bowl, the Cowboys, in Dallas on Sunday. But first, the Cowboys will try to win 14 in a row to run the rack and end the season at 14-2. They are a confident bunch, and they have already riding a 5-game winning streak.
Can these guys go unbeaten the rest of the year? I mean, it sounds impossible in the NFL to do, but they're talking like they can.
Well, you know, it's just a little early to be making those kind of predictions. You know, there's week in, week out. You see it every week that, you know, somebody gets beat by somebody they shouldn't have. It's just the nature of the NFL. Can it be done? I guess. But will it happen? I don't know. It's probably not that likely.
We'll have reaction from the Giants locker room in Dallas on Sunday night on the half-hour edition of the Sports Desk. And tonight, our regular feature with Ronnie Lott, Something Special. We spend some time analyzing upcoming opponents from his living room watching Monday Night Football. That's it from the MSG Sports Desk.
From Gillette comes a revolutionary form of antiperspirant protection. Gillette Clear Gel Antiperspirant. Because it's a clear, clean, powerful gel. It goes on smoothly, with no white residue, to form an invisible barrier of protection. All-day protection against both wetness and odor. Gillette Clear Gel Antiperspirant. One of the advanced deodorants and antiperspirants in the Gillette series.
In the summer of 1994, uniformed men from 24 countries will land on American soil. The 1994 World Cup, brought to you in part by Canon.
Thanks to Smart Rate from the Discover card, interest charges now have a whole new bottom line. Smart Rate, currently as low as 14.9%. It pays to Discover. And when it comes to Smart Rate, it pays to look for your pre-approved Discover card application. Sign it.
Oh, thank you.
No problem. Because you can't get Smart Rate until you get your card. It pays to Discover.
Don't miss the spectacular grand opening of Nobody Beats the Wiz, Thursday, November 11th at 2111 Highway 35 in Homedale, New Jersey. Nobody beats the Wiz.
To an athlete, a world championship is the highlight of a career. I'm Dave DeBuscher, and 20 years ago, my teammates and I, the 1973 New York Knicks, won the NBA World Championship. And now, true Knicks fans everywhere can share that moment with those championship seasons. An NBA license, limited edition, hand-signed lithograph featuring my friends, teammates, and Hall of Famers. Walt Clyde Frazier, the captain, Willis Reed, Luke, Jerry Lucas, Earl the Pearl Monroe, Coach Red Holzman, myself, Dave DeBuscher, and distinguished American Dollar Bill Bradley, whose autograph is nearly impossible to obtain.
To order, call 800-453-1882 now. Each lithograph comes with a notarized certificate of authenticity bearing photos of all 7 members signing the piece. Order during tonight's game and get $100 off. Then Sunday, December 5th, meet Dave DeBuscher at our sports gallery in Great Neck. Call or visit our gallery now.
Whether you're a Knicks fan, collector, or investor, this is one piece you must buy.
Back in Boston, the Knicks with a 57-48 lead on the Boston Celtics. At the end of the first half, a look at the leading scores brought to you by your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealers. There's only one Jeep, and it's only at your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealers. Anthony Mason, the high man, with 14 points, 6 of 7 from the field. He is the only Knick in double figures. Knicks getting balanced scoring and shot exceptionally well on 22 of 33 from the field, while Boston had a poor shooting second quarter. They have 3 players in double figures, led by Robert Parrish with 15 points. He hit 6 of 7 from the floor, 10 apiece for D. Brown and Kevin Gamble. A very long first half, strange half, some curious calls earlier, some apparently miscommunication on the part of the officials, and we've had wet spots on the floor, and that has delayed matters.
Well, we've seen it all, in other words,
have.
Marv, with only a half gone. But the Knicks got into their defensive flow in the second quarter, and that's what really helped them, along with their terrific shooting.
On a look at some of the highlights of the first half of play, and the halftime highlights brought to you by Minolta, creators of the world's most responsive SLR cameras, the new Maxim XI series.
Well, Robert Parrish was the big story for the Knicks in the first quarter of the game. There, a little pick and roll play. Parrish with the fake and that soft hook over Charles Oakley. Beautifully done. And then later on, Robert took Patrick Ewing on one-on-one with a little fake. We've seen this a million times. He bangs into Ewing, then another fake, and he has that jump shot also right on target. 6 out of 7 in the first half for Robert Parrish. But the Knicks had some answers, too, especially when they went to the bench. Greg Anthony adhering to that push-the-ball-up policy of the Knicks, and Mason just breezes by Rajda for that beautiful driving layup. Mason also back into the picture once again. Take a look at this one closely. Driving with the right hand, switching over, and executing an incredible off-balance shot successfully. He, like Parrish, was 6 out of 7 in the first half.
So the Knicks with a 57-48 lead. We'll be back with the third quarter in a moment.
Don't miss the spectacular grand opening of Nobody Beats the Wiz, Thursday, November 11th at 2111 Highway 35 in Homedale, New Jersey. Nobody beats the Wiz.
Nobody beats Long Island Diamond prices.
My dad got my mom's ring here.
Long Island Diamond saves you a lot of money.
We got the diamond we wanted at the price we wanted.
Long Island Diamond has a world-class selection of all sizes, shapes, and price ranges.
Want to lease a Ford, buy a Ford, or service a Ford, you cannot do better than Able Ford of Rockville Center, your super-friendly Ford store, and a whole lot more. At Able of Rockville Center, you can always feel confident you're getting the very best deals and the very best service on Ford cars or trucks.
Able Ford
Championship will be run on Saturday, November 6th, and you can be part of it. Get in on the action of 7 championship races and also play Breeders' Cup Pick 7. The Breeders' Cup, live via satellite. Don't miss it. It's all at Aqueduct Saturday, November 6th. The Breeders' Cup simulcast from Santa Anita, plus 3 live stakes races and the National Pick 7. Post time 12:30.
Hi, I'm Eric Nyberg, a partner in the law firm of Nyberg and Rosenblum. Nyberg and Rosenblum is a full-service law firm, large enough to have gained national awareness, yet small enough to give our clients the individual attention they deserve. If you've been injured, had an accident, or need other legal services, call Nyberg and Rosenblum for a free consultation. Quality legal representation need not be expensive. For your convenience, we have offices in Nassau and Suffolk counties. Thank you.
New York Knicks basketball is brought to you in part by the Discover Card. It pays to discover the card that pays you back. By MetLife. Get Met, it pays. And by Gillette Sensor and the new Gillette Series. Gillette, the best a man can get.
The Knicks have led by as many as 11. They lead by 9. As we head to the third quarter, Marv Albert, John Andres from the Boston Garden. Recently, Pat Riley came out with a new book entitled The Winner Within, a life plan for team players. And players' job will sometimes go to inspirational reading material. Now, prior to tonight's game, we caught a glimpse of Anthony Mason intensely catching up on his reading. Now, this is, I would think Pat really appreciates this. Here's Anthony. By golly, look what he was reading.
Oh, my goodness. I'd love to, but I have a game. Oh, Marv, your latest publication. I also noticed Anthony not turning the pages. Could he have been dozing?
Yes, perhaps.
But an interesting title, though. Fascinating. Someday a book should be written on the meaning of that title.
Well, once
I'd love
again,
to, but I have a game.
Shameless promotion on the part of the electronic wizard, Howie Singer. Yes, you came up with that title, as I recall, because whenever you might ask if I'd like to go to dinner with you, I would say I'd love to, but I have a game.
It's a long line of people that helped with that title selection one way or the other.
The Knicks on fire in the third quarter, 12 of 16 in the third, and 22 for 33 at the half, sparked by Mason, while the Celtics 20 of 43, and they were only 8 of 24 from the field in that second quarter. Knicks with the slight edge off the boards. Charles Oakley with 7 rebounds leading the way.
Charles in 18 minutes only took 1 shot, however, but did the big job. There's an interesting stat. The Knicks dominating in the assist department. 17 led by Doc Rivers. And bench play led by Mason. Again showing the Knicks depth here in the first game of the season. The bench coming through big time.
Well, you see how Anthony was inspired by his little reading session prior to the game.
Boy, the extra rest he got reading it.
Pat will be very upset.
Fortunately, Pat doesn't hear this.
Yes, he will.
He turns down the sound.
He likes to check out your comments.
I'm sure.
The Knicks bench 10 of 12 from the field overall. So the third quarter is underway. Parrish, Pinckney, Gamble up front. Douglas and Brown at the guards. Robert Parrish claims he was fouled, did not get the call, but he is now 7 for 8, 17 points. 57-50. Knicks with the lead. Smith willing inside. Pinckney with the rebound.
See, against a man 6'5", Charles Smith should really be able to put that ball in and down.
Gamble. So Boston with a 4-0 burst to start the third quarter, and they cut that Knick lead down to 5. Rivers and Starks in the backcourt. Ewing, Smith, Oakley up front. Just Kersey with the whistle and the foul against Boston, or illegal defense. Let's see. Illegal defense.
The officials are very sensitive to that stuffing up the keyhole area there by the defense. You've got to keep moving as you pass through there. You just can't hang around the middle.
At the first illegal defense called on the Celtics. Knicks get the new 24. Rivers for Ewing. Beautifully set up. Doc Rivers drawing the big men to him to set up Ewing, who had the mismatch. The Knicks 59 and the Celtics 52. Ewing jumping out. Parrish. Pinckney. And deflected out. Last touch by the Knicks.
That's Ed Pinckney's game. Offensive rebounding. He's superb in that area, and it's nice to see him back in action after only playing the first 7 games of last season before hurting the knee.
Back from major knee surgery. Blew out his right knee. The year before, Pinckney had really come on as a rebounder and defensive player. Foul on Ewing. That's his third.
Quiet first half for Sherman Douglas. Played more minutes than anyone on either team. 21 in all. Only took 4 shots, made 1. He's really epitomizing the playmaking role, but he's capable of scoring.
D. Brown now has 12 points. 59-54. Knicks with the lead. Oakley lost the handle. Ewing. Here comes Gamble.
Credit the Celtics' intense defense for forcing that difficult shot by Ewing.
Gamble. Well, Boston has come out shooting. And they have cut that Knick lead down to 3. 2.5 gone by in the third. Starks. Oh, what a move by John Starks. The fake along the baseline, and then he went to the hoop.
He's so creative.
Anthony Mason is getting set to come on.
Charles Smith hobbling a bit.
And let's see what the call is here. It's on Gamble. Offensive foul.
Ewing takes the charge here. He sees Gamble committing himself to the drive. John Starks moments ago going left baseline. Pinckney in front of him did a good job, but Starks went away from the hoop and still put it in the basket.
And Charles Smith has been replaced by Anthony Mason. Ewing, oh, he felt the contact, felt the shoulder from Parrish, but still able to hit. The Knicks lead 63-56.
Patrick willed that one in.
Pinckney, air ball. And Boston will maintain possession. They'll have 8 on the shot clock.
Pinckney's challenge is to become important, or at least a contributor to the Celtics offense.
Well, that Pinckney does 2 things well, John. Rebound and rebound.
Plays with a lot of heart, too, and that's why Chris Ford is happy to have him back, because he's got to try and add some more to his dimension to his game.
Parrish with the rejection. Knicks able to get back. Brown had a notion to run. Gamble.
Oakley only took 1 shot in the first half in 18 minutes.
And Pinckney came over, called for the foul. Trying to help out on Rivers. Last season, the Celtics finished 2nd in the Atlantic behind the Knicks. They overachieved, record of 48 and 34, 12 games behind the Knicks. And then they were eliminated first round of the playoffs, knocked off by Charlotte, 3-1. A hard driving move by John Starks. And the Knicks now lead by 9. Chris Ford wants to talk it over. 7:37 to go in this third quarter.
Hawkins trying to get loose for a three-point shot here coming up from the top floor. I guess it's going to be Curry.
Yeah, Curry all the way from the baseline. Point lead now, 7:37 left in the third quarter. Let's take a look now at the Delta upcoming schedule. Sunday, Knicks go to Cleveland. Actually, they'll go tonight. Then Tuesday back at the Garden for the home opener against the Sixers, and then to Washington against the Bullets and their revamped front line. It's MSG2 on Wednesday night.
7.5 remaining in the third quarter. Marv Albert with John Andres opening night in the NBA, and the Knicks leading Boston 65-56. And last touched by Starks, the call by Jim Kinsey. Boston with 6 on the 24. Gamble for 3.
This is in very much, Marv, the part of the game, a little past the middle now, where the Knicks defense really takes its toll. If they can maintain the intensity that they did last year, and even in the exhibition season when they were really tough on defense, this is what will separate the Knicks from the rest of the pack. And this is what the Celtics are feeling right now, their defensive pressure.
Well, Charles Oakley, with only his second shot attempt of the night, has given the Knicks an 11-point advantage. Parrish.
No second shots for the Celtics now.
Ewing.
Boy, Oakley got pushed, and that was not seen, and he went down.
Douglas feeding it off. Pinckney finished it.
Nobody helped out. Oakley had been on the floor and couldn't get back in time. All of a sudden, Pinckney was wide open.
The Knicks lead 67-58. You talk about that Knicks superb defense. Well, in preseason, where the Knicks won 7 out of 8, they allowed only 84 points per game. Nice fake by Ewing. The Knicks held opponents to 38% shooting during the preseason.
And last season, as the best team in the NBA, they allowed fewest points per game, a shade over 95. The Knicks did even better than that in their preseason. That's what they're sticking to. That's what they're committed to. And we'll take a look now at the last 5 seasons. How the Knicks defensively have gotten better and better. And just supporting what we just said in the preseason, 11 points better than last year. That's the constant that can be there every night, and that's what Pat Riley wants out of his team. Defense first, offense next.
That foul called on Rivers. The rookie, A.C. Earl, has come on, played well in the first half. That's Earl with the fake on Oakley. A.C. Earl, who slipped to 19th on the first round, noted for his shot blocking, 7th all-time in the NCAA, and career blocks, goes 6'10".
Oh, as fine a pass as you'll see Patrick Ewing deliver, and it was to Mason right on.
11-point Knick lead. Anthony Mason, high man for the Knicks with 16. And the foul again on Rivers. That's 3 on Dodd. And the Knicks with their 3rd team foul. Pat Riley now has Ewing, Mason, and Oakley up front. Starks and Rivers at the guards. Illegal defense called again against the Knicks. The Knicks with 21 assists for the game. A very impressive total.
A game total of 30 is impressive for a team during an NBA season, 30 per game, so the Knicks are well on their way.
Celtics again able to cash in on a technical foul by virtue of an illegal defense. That is the 5th illegal defense called on the Knicks. Douglas had the pass broken up by Rivers.
He assumed Gamble was going to the basket. Rivers was, not Gamble.
in the third quarter. Last season, the Knicks snapped a 23-game regular season home losing streak in Boston. Knicks have won their last 2 games here. Remember, they had not won since February of '84 after but finally won up here during the regular season last year. Shot clock down to 5. 3-second violation on Pinckney.
That comes from the defense that the Knicks are putting up right now. It's difficult for Douglas to find open people. He wilted under the pressure that Doc Rivers just gave him. And it's the defensive pressure, again, that's turning this game more and more in the favor of the Knicks.
Ewing to the drop step. Yes. Put the move on A.C. Earl, and the Knicks now lead by 12.
See, this is where the Celtics need Parrish at his best, but he's got to rest. So now it's A.C. Earl and Ed Pinckney who have to pick it up underneath.
Gamble sandwiched, and the foul is called. Oakley called for his second.
It's a crucial part of the game now for the Celtics, because with Parrish on the bench, when you look at Earl, a rookie meeting the Knicks in his first NBA basketball game, and Ed Pinckney, not an offensive threat out there, with Gamble also playing as a forward, the Knicks are in a position of great dominance now on the front line.
Steve Brown, oh, he was forced into a very difficult play. Terrific defensive work by the guards, Rivers and Starks. Mason, and it's tipped home by Oakley. The Knicks 75, the Celtics 61.
This game is going to go away from the Celtics.
Douglas. Knicks playing sensational defense, which is leading to these fast break opportunities. Ewing will go to the line, but first a timeout has been taken.
They have taken over the game right now. The momentum is all in the direction of the Knicks.
Well, the timeout waved off. Ewing will go to the foul line. Dino Rajda has checked back in.
Remarkably, the Knicks just got their first offensive rebound of the game. Really a function more of their excellent field goal percentage. There haven't been many rebounds as they've been shooting the ball so well after that 66% first half.
Here's Dennis Johnson added to the Celtic coaching staff. 5-time All-Star, played on 3 NBA world champions, including 1984 and 86, with the Celtics, where he spent his final 7 seasons. So added to the staff of Don Casey and John Jennings.
Cute article about Dennis Johnson the other day here in the Boston papers. He was asked to speak to the team before the Charlotte game recently. That's A.C. Earl on that turning jump shot. Chris Ford wanted him to prepare the team for the game, and he said, "I was never so nervous in my life. My heart was pounding out of my chest." He said, "It's a lot different being a coach."
Ewing. And Douglas able to bring it across. Had a notion to run, but you rarely see the Celtics run these days. Foul called on the Knicks. Tom Mason. Earlier we saw Charles Smith head back to the Knick bench. He was taken to the locker room, and Knick team physician Dr. Norman Scott checked him out, and the word is a slight strain of the right knee, and Charles is okay to return.
He had surgery on both knees this summer, but came back strong in the upper body, and also in a much better condition than last year when he came into his first season with the Knicks overweight. Big things are expected of Charles this year. He's certainly mentally ready and physically ready.
Last year, Charles did not adjust to the small forward role until late in the season when he did come on. Here's pressure by Boston. We come up on 3 minutes remaining in the third quarter. The Knicks have opened up a 13-point bulge. Nice pass. And A.C. Earl's called for that foul, which will put Patrick Ewing back at the line.
The talent of Anthony Mason oozing out on that move as he delivered the ball up court, handling it, and then advancing. He could take the ball now for his own shot. He'll get around Gamble. He could have forced a shot. Many players would. But he looked for Ewing. Patrick trying to dunk the ball over the rookie. Drew the foul.
Ewing 3 for 3 from the line. He is 17. He is now the high man for the Knicks.
Knicks shot their fouls at a 74% clip last year. It was not good enough. Everyone knew it, and that's an area of the game that they worked hard on.
The Knicks lead by 15. Earl showing the outside touch.
But Patrick Ewing, I think, thinks by his presence he's psyching out the rookie, but by not putting his hands up, he allowed Earl a good, clear look at the basket.
Earl has 8 points. Nice lead. Rivers for Oakley. Raja. And that is an offensive foul on Dino Raja. Timeout taken with 2.5 remaining in the third. Starks and Anthony Mason made the point during the course of the offseason that they both have to harness their emotions on the court. And we talked about that with Anthony Mason.
You just got to take it upon yourself and be more responsible. My mother's talked to me. A lot of people have talked to me and said that could be another level. You could take it up in basketball if you learn how to harness that and control all that aggressiveness and temperament into just playing ball. You'll get them on the court. To hurt an opponent worse, I mean, you can't hurt an opponent no worse than when you beat them.
Well, solid thoughts from Anthony Mason. Seems to be getting the message, and it's translated into him being an excellent basketball player.
Oh, Mason with the tip, but it won't count. Apparently, he caught his own pass. So that's a travel. And it will be Boston ball. 2:18 remaining in the third.
Mason going up and then following his own shot before it hits the basket. Touching it the second time before going against the backboard or the rim.
The Knicks 79, Celtics 66. Greg Anthony has returned, as has Herb Williams. The 26-year-old NBA rookie Dino Raja from Croatia. Originally, his Yugoslavian team went to court to prevent him from breaking his European contract. He was drafted back in '89. That's a three-point attempt. Raja with the rebound.
He's 6'11" and moves well.
Whoa. Douglas went down. And there's Raja with the give. Oh, puts him down.
How about the graceful delivery by Raja at 6'11", as I was just mentioning. Very soft delivery by him after he had committed to a drive.
9-point lead for the Knicks. Starks had it knocked away and was fouled by Fox. Well, Hubert Davis getting set to check back in. Hubert played well in the first half. 9 minutes, 3 for 3 from the field, including a 4-point play. Hit a 3-point field goal and was fouled. Only the 5th time in Knick history that they have converted a 4-point play. John Starks has done it 3 times. And Trent Tucker did it in the playoffs against the Chicago Bulls.
I can remember that basket so clearly by Trent Tucker, who's not in the league this year, Marv, at this time.
Trent, as I recall, was fouled by a master of the 3-point shot himself, Craig Hodges.
How about Pete Myers taking over a starting role for the Chicago Bulls? I mean, when Michael Jordan made his very dramatic announcement, can you imagine if someone would have tapped you on the shoulder and said, Pete Myers will be starting in his place when the season begins?
Well, I think the Bulls feel that Tony Kukoc just is not ready to face the pressure of being a starter, and eventually the hope would be that Kukoc would be the starter. Pete Myers played somewhat for the Bulls before he came to the Knicks, plays for the Nets, a little CBA action. Very good defensive player. Corciani with a wild shot. Earl on the recovery. Lost the grip. Winding down in the third. The Knicks with an 81-70 lead here in Boston. Starks for Oakley.
Nicely done by both players.
The Knicks lead 83-70. Chris Corciani, who was signed as a free agent, originally a second-round pick of Orlando. Played at the CBA, little stint in Italy.
No way he can beat the quicker Anthony off the dribble.
Corciani getting inside, went for the reverse. Gamble got a piece of it. Mason on the recovery. Starks backs to three-point territory and hits. Three-pointer for John Starks. Final seconds of the quarter. Knicks lead by 16. Corciani did not realize the clock was working down, and it's too late. Would not have counted. The Knicks conclude the third quarter with a 7-0 run, and they have their biggest lead of the night, a margin of 16.
This great teamwork moment is brought to you by the team of Canon Technology and MCS Service. One is a great reason to buy the other. The Knicks are getting great teamwork now as they establish this 16-point lead. Corciani misses. Oakley swoops it up. Mason takes that ball, sees the potential of John Starks being wide open. Starks loves it, backs up for the three. That three-point shot from the corner is 22 feet. That's almost 2 feet closer than the three-point shot from out at the top of the circle, so it's much easier for Starks. The Knicks have opened it up. The Celtics, struggling to score points, were held to 22 in the third quarter, while the Knicks had 29.
And as this fourth quarter gets underway, Charles Smith back on the floor. Hurt his knee earlier, but is all right. Smith setting up Herb Williams. Rick Fox for Chris Corciani with Hubert Davis back. Back for Fox. The Knicks 86 and the Celtics 72, setting the Knick lineup in the backcourt. Greg Anthony and Hubert Davis. On the front line, Herb Williams with Charles Smith and Anthony Mason. Solid game for Mason, 7 of 9, 16 points.
Charles Smith wrestling down low with Xavier McDaniel to get position. McDaniel doing his intimidation act. And he drew the foul, or committed the foul on Charles Smith while pushing him.
That's 3 on McDaniel. Opening minute, fourth quarter. Davis. Hubert Davis has played 10 minutes. He's hit 4 out of 4. He has 10 points.
Very hard for the naked eye to see the move that he just did as he went in for the shot. It looked like the world was going to collapse on him. Earl was on him, but he adjusted his body and executed the delivery to the basket in more difficult fashion, but he makes it all look easy. He can change his shots depending on what the defense presents.
Holding foul on Smith. Boston has Corciani as the point guard as we take another look at that move by Hubert Davis.
Hubert, an outstanding jump shooter, more and more shows how effective he can be, beating the bigger A.C. Earl by going to the basket.
Corciani and Fox at the guard, so Boston presenting a mismatch. Fox guarded by Davis. Here's McDaniel. Well, Xavier McDaniel has cut that Knick lead down to 14.
It's a great shot McDaniel has, but remember when he wore the Knicks uniform, it seems that's all he did was take that jump shot. He had no versatility in his game.
Dino Radja called for the foul. Well, Chris Ford from time to time has been unhappy with the X-Man shot selection when he double pumps and whirls in the corner and is not looking at the basket, and it looks beautiful when it goes in, but Chris would rather that the X-Man get a better look at the rim
and execute it quickly.
Patrick Ewing has returned, so the matchup is Ewing and Earl, and Ewing goes right at him. Will the basket count? No, it does not. A foul has been called. It's on Earl, his fourth.
If Ewing keeps rolling to the basket with his superior width and strength, he will get rid of Earl. Earl will draw foul after foul. Earl's hope is that Ewing will take jump shots.
But again, Ewing to the hoop, and he draws the foul. That's number 5. And as Patrick Ewing makes his way to the line, we'll go to Mike Crispino at the MSG Sports Desk.
Marvin John, a new look, 3-time defending champion Chicago Bull team without Michael Jordan. This is Scottie Pippen doing a Jordan-like move, finding Horace Grant down low. Charlotte now with a 65-64 lead in the third.
Thank you, Mike. Patrick Ewing hitting on his first to extend the Knicks lead to 89-74.
We are now witnessing the rather dramatically the problem that the Celtics will face this season. When asked what he is most worried about as the season begins, this undermanned Celtic team's coach said scoring, putting points on the board, and that's what Chris Ford is concerned about, and that's what he's witnessing right now.
2 minutes gone by in the fourth quarter, and it goes back to the Knicks. Last year, the Knicks went 60-22, best record in the Eastern Conference. They won 24 of their last 28. In the playoffs, knocked off Indiana, then Charlotte, and lost to Chicago in 6. We discussed at the start the high expectations for this Knicks squad. Greg Anthony giving the Knicks a 92-74 lead. Rajda. We're talking about the high expectations, but the Knicks opening up in very impressive fashion here in Boston.
That jump shot by Greg Anthony had to feel good for him. He hasn't taken many shots tonight. There's an odd one with Hubert Davis having his jump shot rejected.
Roger played by Mason. Oh, good play from behind as Anthony came over. It's been a solid game for Greg Anthony, not looking to force shots, played well defensively.
Greg, a different man, got married this summer.
Right.
Much more mature now. You can just see it.
Does marriage improve shot selection on the court?
It has tonight.
I'll see.
Almost one down and 81 to go.
Charles Smith now guarding Dino Raja. Pick and roll with A.C. Earl. It counts, and the foul.
Now, Chris Ford's seeing a lot of positive things from Rajda. He just had a nice drive to the basket, very smooth. Now a nice pass to his teammate. This guy's 6'11". Look where he is, away from the basket. He's got the ability to put the ball down, recover it, and see the open man and get him the ball. That's a mouthful for a man that size.
A.C. Earl in his collegiate days at Iowa went to the line frequently, but not a good free throw shooter at 67%. In his college days, able to complete the three-point play. The Knicks 92, Boston 79. Ewing trying to put the move on Earl, who's playing with 5, and Boston came up with a steal. Fox, McDaniel.
That's how the Celtics opened up the game. They moved the ball beautifully to the open man.
Well, Boston in the midst of a run. Chopping away at the 18-point lead. It's now 11. Mason, yes. The Knicks 94. The Celtics 81. 7 unanswered points by the Celtics before that jump shot by Anthony Mason. And a foul on the play. Holding foul, says Jess Kersey. Charles Oakley and John Starks report back in. Hubert Davis called for the foul, his second. So Starks and Anthony now in the backcourt. Oakley, Ewing, Smith up front. Nice move by Earl. Oh, he is clobbered. A.C. Earl was fouled.
Patrick Ewing, still 9 years later, will go for those fakes. He's so desirous of slapping that ball down, blocking the shot. He takes himself out of the play when he goes off the ground. He comes rattling back, as do his teammates, to crush Earl on his shot attempt. Earl driving in. Also John Starks with the attempt to block the shot of the taller, much taller Earl.
As you mentioned earlier, John, A.C. Earl, first-round pick of the Celtics, showing some good things here tonight in his first NBA game. 19th pick overall in the draft. Slipped down to 19, as I mentioned before. Averaged just under 17 points, 7 rebounds per game at Iowa. Not a leaper, does it, with size and timing.
At 6'10", he's now seeing people, a lot of people at his size are bigger for the first time in his life.
15 points for Earl. Charles Smith, rebounded by Rick Fox. And the ball goes back to the Knicks.
Fox, a man who hasn't really found a comfort zone in a position in the NBA. He can be a guard or a forward, and he's never fit into that comfort area, as he reveals now, and unsuccessfully bringing the ball up court.
7:20 remaining in this fourth quarter. Illegal defense called on the Celtics. No argument here from Chris Ford, and now the Knicks will go to the line. Technical foul awarded. Chris Ford has done a good job, winning 2 division titles, 3 years despite a host of injuries. The loss of Larry Bird. Now facing the tragic loss of Reggie Lewis. Kevin McHale retired following last season. Boston without Ala Abdelnaby tonight. He's on the Celtic bench. He'll be out until the first of the year after undergoing back surgery. He would normally be the starting power forward. Celtics would prefer seeing Ed Pinckney come off the bench. One-handed rebound by Dino Raja. Knicks by 12. Raja from deep.
After a slow start, Raja has shown now why so many people feel he's going to be here for a long time and be a very important member of the Celtics.
He has 10 points. Foul called on Boston off that drive by Anthony. Timeout has been taken. 6:51 remaining in the fourth quarter. 3-pointers have taken place here in Boston. Greg Anthony at the foul line. So the Knicks now lead 97-85.
Greg doing a nice job making it difficult for Sherman Douglas throughout the evening.
Xavier McDaniel backing Charles Smith. And McDaniel fires the 3. Time running down, only 4 on the shot clock, and the X-Man hit from 3-point land, and the Knicks now lead 97-88. Ewing, nice fake around Earl, and a technical foul for hanging on the rim. Patrick Ewing hanging on the rim, and it was not a case of trying to brace himself, preventing a fall.
That's one of the new interpretations in the NBA this year that will result in a technical foul. However, Marv, if you do it on the offensive end, that is considered a non-unsportsmanlike action. So if Ewing were to get another technical in the course of the game, he would not be ejected because of that move he just made.
And once again, the Celtics not able to take advantage. Rick Fox missing the second technical foul that Boston has missed tonight. 11-point Knick lead as we come up on 6 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. McDaniel will account. No, does not get the call on the continuation. Foul before the shot attempt. It's on Smith. That's 5 on Smith. And both clubs now over the foul limit.
It's spurts like this that suggest McDaniel should be starting. He certainly has been throughout his long career a big game player, a monster.
Well, I guess the theory is, and he did begin last season as a starter. Feeling is, particularly with Boston struggling offensively, that he's more effective coming off the bench because they would have very little in terms of scoring off the bench. So instead, Chris Ford decided to go with Gamble and Pinckney, and then McDaniel and Rajda from the bench.
McDaniel now in his 9th NBA season. Certainly made his mark in Seattle and dropped into Phoenix for a while before coming to the Knicks for a pass-through, and now in Boston.
Problem with Xavier McDaniel, the knee injuries. He's had 4 knee operations, and there are times where he has nothing in the legs.
Boy, he looks lively now.
Yes, he does. Has the legs going tonight. Ewing was tripped up, and Ewing and McDaniel have words. They've had a friendly rivalry over the years, particularly since Xavier McDaniel played that 1 year with the Knicks. They were in each other's face last season at the Garden.
McDaniel has great respect for Ewing. Patrick on the way to the basket really got tripped up by A.C. Earl and banged into McDaniel. Ewing on the drive. Ewing, you can see that hit the smile, which is not a common reaction from Patrick Ewing when he gets rocked. He's not usually smile, but he sees who's standing there when he comes up and gives him a little friendly chest bump. McDaniel doesn't have much to say.
A.C. Earl fouled out, his 6th.
But McDaniel will never give you that a fearful or a respectful response. He'll kind of keep that psych going just by looking tough. They like each other.
Xavier McDaniel last season did a lot of trash talking in the direction of Patrick Ewing. Some of it affectionately. I can recall Ewing being at the foul line in the closing minutes of the game at the Garden, where McDaniel went over to him and said, "Take a look over there. You see your wife? She knows you're going to miss that free throw." But Patrick hit it. It did not affect him. Raja. Well, he's caught fire. He has 12 points. The Knicks now lead 101-92. Knicks have led by as many as 18. They were threatening to pull away, but the Celtics have rallied here in the 4th quarter. It will be Boston ball.
Well, all of a sudden, Charles Oakley's out high, very high, handling the ball. That should not be the case.
We're approaching 5 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter. Sherman Douglas for Xavier McDaniel, putting moves on Charles Smith. Smith played him well. Douglas. The shot clock running down, and Douglas able to convert. The Knicks call for time. Well, this capacity crowd, just under 15,000, urging the Celtics on. They've come from 18 down. They've trimmed it to a 7-point lead. Boston here in the 4th quarter has hit 9 of 10 from the field. The Knicks hit 4 of 8. The Knicks staying with Anthony and Starks in the backcourt. Ewing, Oakley, Mason up front. Here is Starks. Yes. John Starks with a difficult angle jump shot.
Pat Riley showing great confidence now in Greg Anthony, letting him remain in the game at this particular point instead of going back to the starting Doc Rivers.
The Knicks 103, Celtics 94. Shot clock down to 5. McDaniel. And a loose ball foul indicated Oakley involved with Fox. It's on Oakley. Both teams have been over the limit for some time. For Oakley, that is his third. Rick Fox, in his last appearance at the line, missed that technical free throw. Boston now with Parrish, McDaniel, and Raja up front. They have Douglas and Fox at the guards. The Knicks 103, the Celtics 96. Down to 4:15 remaining in the fourth quarter. Starks for Ewing. Ewing getting position. Rebound Oakley. Oakley rejected and fouled.
Ewing feeling he was fouled, looking very mystified. But he was crunched pretty good. Starks on the handoff to Ewing. Goes into a fake sequence there. Doesn't make the shot. Really didn't go up strong to the basket. And then Oakley doesn't get off the ground very high, but he has the width to draw the foul.
Charles Oakley making his first appearance at the line. He's had a solid game, 8 points, 10 rebounds. And the Knicks now lead by 8.
Not that easy when you haven't shot the ball to make key foul shots at a moment like this. And Charles certainly has not taken many shots tonight.
High men for the Knicks. Ewing, 24. Starks is 20. Mason with 18. Oakley with 10 points.
Charles has hit the goal that Coach Riley set out for him this year. 10 points, 10 rebounds a game, and he's there now.
That Riley has had only good things to say about the play and the hustle of Charles Oakley right throughout preseason. Parrish putting moves on, through the foul. It counts.
That's unbelievable that he made that shot. He's banging with Ewing, and at the same time, Starks is attacking him and fouling him from behind. Bangs into Ewing, then Starks gets him from behind. Makes the shot. This is how he began the game. He has become a monster again.
Foul on Starks, his third.
Those some great lines this week. As you can see, the 19 points now. Great lines from Robert Parrish. People trying to console him because his team doesn't look as the teams he's enjoyed being on in the past. He said, hey, I've got the greatest job in the world. I work 2 hours a day. Who can make the kind of money I make?
Knicks by 6. Mason gets inside, and he's called for a traveling violation. Well, things were rolling along very well for the Knicks. It appeared to be a very impressive opening night. But they've been shaken by the Celtic rally here in the fourth quarter. The Knicks led by as many as 18. They're now clinging to a 6-point lead with much time to go. 3 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in the fourth. McDaniel. The Knicks lead is down to 4.
Mason's such a good defender. He's getting the job against McDaniel. The only thing is McDaniel can shoot over Mason. He's taller.
Mason was annoyed with the official, Jim Kinsey, who was in the way. Here's Starks. John Starks off the mark, forced him to the tough shot. 2:45 remaining in the fourth quarter. The Knicks with a 4-point lead. McDaniel. .11-4 spurt by Boston.
Knicks are going to try and get that ball inside to Ewing now. Parrish is banging on him, driving him out of the play.
And Starks lost it, recovered, rejected by Raja. Dino Raja has come alive in the second half. Douglas. Parrish. and rebounded by Mason.
The Knicks desperately need leadership and poise now. The man with the ball, Greg Anthony, has got to help supply it.
Just under 2 minutes remaining, fourth quarter. Ewing. And he is fouled. Chris Ford looking for a charge, will not get that call. The outside official, Bruce Alexander, says a blocking foul against the Celtics. Foul called on Raja. That is his fifth. So Ewing to the line. He is 8 for 8 from the free throw line. 8 for 16 from the field. The Knicks 106 and the Celtics 101. Patrick Ewing hitting important free throws. Boston calls for time with 1:52 remaining. In this fourth quarter now, the Celtics change to a 20-second timeout.
Well, the foul shooting of Patrick Ewing helps erase some of the memories of time gone by when in tense moments he has not come through at the foul line. He looks a lot looser at the line tonight. His form looks very smooth.
Well, from here, the Knicks will move on to face the Cavaliers at the Coliseum in Richfield, going up against the former czar of the telestrator, Mike Fratello, and he feels tougher Cleveland Cavaliers in the past. They have had the reputation of being a bit on the soft side, but with the acquisition of Tyrone Hill and the feeling that the czar's spirit and enthusiasm will lead them on. Cleveland certainly a major contender in the Eastern Conference. Knicks and the Cavs on Sunday night. Then the Knicks will play their home opener against the Sixers at the Garden on Tuesday. 1:45 remaining in the fourth quarter. Knicks lead by 6. Parrish with the tip. Roger there. It counts, and the foul.
Parrish winding his way inside. Soft touch. Right back in it again. No box out. Rajda, no box out. 6'11". Doesn't he deserve to be boxed out? Shouldn't somebody be in front of him?
Dino Raja has come up very big. 15 points, 8 rebounds, 3-point play brings Boston within 3 with 1.5 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Knicks led by as many as 18. Ewing, yes. Patrick Ewing drilling from the outside, and the Celtics take a timeout. 1:21 remaining in the fourth.
Contenders you were talking about, Marv, the Cleveland Cavaliers were just beaten by a Ken Norman three-pointer with seconds remaining. 94-91, the Bucks win it.
Thank you, Mike. Well, a difficult opening night for the Czar and the Cleveland Cavaliers at home at the Coliseum against the Milwaukee Bucks.
Well, Robert Parrish may be 40 years old, but tonight he has made time stand still. And we'll look at our Toyota matchup between Ewing and Parrish and see that Patrick Ewing, although dominant with 28 points, has met his match in many ways with Robert Parrish, who's contributing now in the very big moments. Also, Parrish out-rebounding Ewing in this game.
And the timeout situation, Knicks have 3 full and a 20. Celtics 2 remaining. Both clubs over the limit. How about Dino Raja in his NBA debut? 9 of his 15 points have come here in the fourth quarter. Knicks lead by 5. Parrish with a drop step. Celtics got it back. Parrish again. Rebound Mason with just under 1 minute remaining. In this fourth quarter, Knicks lead 109-104. Prior to the timeout, a clutch jump shot hit by Patrick Ewing. That a follow-up to those 2 free throws. Ewing changed his mind as he spotted Starks. McDaniel with the rebound. Unloads for Brown.
Not good decision-making by the Knicks.
D. Brown brings Boston right back into it. 3-point. Knicks lead. 35 seconds remaining in the fourth. Shot clock at 10. Ewing. And Boston with another opportunity. Brown accelerating out of control, but very fortunate that it deflected off Anthony. 14 seconds, 14 2/10 seconds remaining in this fourth quarter. And the Celtics take a timeout. They're trailing by 3. We'll be back in a moment. Of the Boston Celtics, they led by as many as 18. It will be Boston ball as we resume with 14 2/10 seconds to go in this fourth quarter. Now the Celtics 2 of 5 from downtown and not a good 3-point shooting ball club.
Knicks falling victim to some rushed shots the last 2 times down court, not getting good shots under the Celtic pressure.
And if the Celtics do get a 3-point shot opportunity, the Knicks do not want to commit a foul for a potential 4-point play. Knicks lead by 3. McDaniel couldn't find anyone and has to use a timeout. And that is the Celtics' final timeout. So Chris Ford will talk it over once again. We'll take a break. We'll be back after this. Floated for 36 points in this fourth quarter alone against the top defensive team in the NBA. A year ago, they've outscored the Knicks 36-23 to get back into it. They've excited this crowd. We're down to 14 2/10 seconds remaining in the fourth. Boston just used its final timeout. They're trailing by 3, and they will inbound again from the baseline.
Gamble in there for Rochester, mainly due to his ability to shoot the long shots.
Now, if they can't find a 3, they might go for a quick 2 and then take their chances and try to get it back. Gamble will inbound. McDaniel.
They got to go to the 3 now.
And they have the 3. McDaniel not able to tie it. Ewing with the rebound and took a shove from Douglas with 4 4/10 seconds remaining. Well, the Celtics set up. Xavier McDaniel had a wide open 3-point opportunity that rimmed the basket.
Good move by Gamble, too, and giving it to him. Under a lot of pressure, Gamble gave it up. And the Knicks got lucky.
Sherman Douglas called for the foul. Patrick Ewing back to the line where he has hit 10 for 10. 28 points for Ewing. Knicks by 3. Boston does not have any timeouts left. So the Knicks lead 110-106. And now the Knicks are dropping back. Knicks covering Brown and Gamble, who have headed down court. So that will wrap it. 4 4/10 seconds remaining. Knicks lead 111-106. Douglas, that's a goaltend. That will count. Sherman Douglas gets credit for the 2 points and the final score. The Knicks 111, the Celtics 108. For the Celtics, their first home opener loss since back in 1978. They had won 14 in a row. And the last time that the Knicks won as many as 3 straight here in Boston over the Celts was they won 4 in a row in a span over the 1970, 71, and 71, 72 seasons. The Knicks win on opening night We'll be back to recap it in a moment.
Okay, classic cars. 63 Veg. Split window. Right.
Who played the national anthem before the first game ever at Yankee Stadium?
John Philip Sousa's band.
Give the kid a break. What's Reed Eubank's real first name? Wilbur.
Give the kid a break.
Who was the Knicks ball boy in 1959?
Marv Albert. Why don't you give the kid a break?
Give the kid a break! Give the kid a break!
Nobody knows sports like the Times.
Shipping a package to Omaha? That's child's play.
Held on to defeat the Celtics 111 to 108, and it came down to a three-point opportunity set up for Xavier McDaniel. This could have tied the game.
Xavier was the second option, certainly, as Gamble was the first option as their best outside shooter. The Knicks knew it, gave a lot of pressure to Gamble and forced him to give it up to McDaniel, who ended up with the wide-open shot that he almost made.
All right, John, a look at the leading scorers summary brought to you by your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealers. There's only one Jeep. It's only at your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealers. Patrick Ewing, the high point man, and Ewing 12 for 12 from the free throw line, including important foul shots in the final minutes, 9 of 18 from the floor. John Starks with 20. Anthony Mason had the big first half, finished with 18, 10 apiece for Charles Oakley and Hubert Davis. The Knicks bench played well in the first half. The Boston Celtics, led by Robert Parrish, 8 for 15, 20 points in all. Kevin Gamble at 16 and 15 apiece for McDaniel, Earl, and Raja.
Take another look at that last play when McDaniel ended up with the long three-point shot that rimmed the basket. Ewing right there for the rebound and the foul. Fortunately, Patrick was perfect from the line tonight.
And McDaniel with 11 of his 15 points in the fourth quarter.
Okay, classic cars.
63 Veg.
Split window.
Right.
68 Camaro Super Sport.
GTO, any year.
Nice. Gran Torino.
On opening night here in Boston, they defeat the Celtics 111-108. We'll be back to talk with Anthony Mason in a moment. Right here, let's go back to Mike Crispino at the MSG Sports Desk.
All right, thanks very much, Marv. In Houston tonight, the Nets are having all kinds of trouble with the Houston Rockets and Akeem Olajuwon. They're playing in the third quarter, and they trail 77-56. Elsewhere in the NBA, a couple of finals to report. One game still in progress, Chicago and Charlotte. The Bulls leading at 105-99. B.J. Armstrong scored 28 points before fouling out in that game. Milwaukee has upset Cleveland 94-91. They got 24 points from Kenny Norman, 17 of them coming in the first quarter, and a three-pointer to win it at the end of the game. Elsewhere, Indiana beaten by Atlanta. Dominique Wilkins had 33 to spoil Larry Brown's debut as the Pacer coach. Philadelphia, Sean Bradley, a 94-82 win over Kevin Duckworth and the Washington Bullets. 77-75, the Timberwolves leading the Detroit Pistons at the Palace in Auburn Hills in the fourth quarter. Orlando by 9 over the Miami Heat in Miami. That is in the third quarter of action. San Antonio Spurs by 1 over Golden State in the third quarter. At halftime, Utah Jazz 44, Dallas 37. Vince Coleman escaped a one-year jail term by pleading down to a misdemeanor in this summer's firecracker throwing incident. Coleman will pay restitution to his 3 victims and do 200 hours of community service, including at least 80 hours cleaning graffiti from L.A. landmarks. The New Jersey Devils just getting underway against the Anaheim Mighty Ducks in a couple of minutes. We'll have highlights of that game coming up at 11 o'clock on the MSG Sports Desk. We hope you can join us for that. And we'll go back to Boston after these messages.
Football.
real football.
On real grass. Lambeau Field in snow.
Albert, John Andres, the Knicks defeating the Celtics 111-108. Among the standouts for the Knicks tonight, Anthony Mason, who hit for 8 of 10 from the field, 18 points, and he's with John.
Thank you, Marv. A win is a win, as they say, Anthony. However, your team gave up 38 points in the fourth quarter. What's your report card on the opening night for the Knicks?
We came out strong, but like you said, in the fourth quarter, we gave up 38 points, which is very uncharacteristic for us. We got to, fine-tune our game and keep the nails down on the defense in the end of the game. Boston's a great team. You can't take nothing away from them. They played extremely hard at the end. But like you said, a win is a win.
Were you surprised at the play of Robert Parrish?
Was I surprised? No.
40-year-old Robert Parrish.
No, he's a competitor. He keeps himself in great shape. He keeps his, keeps up on top of his game, constantly working on his game. I'm never surprised. Anybody that works that hard deserves to be that good.
How about Rajda, the young man who wore a Celtics uniform for the first time this season? What did you think of his game?
He's a talented player, and he can pass the ball, he can shoot the ball, he can score on the post. He's going to be a good player in the league.
Anthony, the team goes on to Cleveland now. You think Coach Riley is going to be happy with the performance tonight? Just give us an insight into what his reaction might be.
He's gonna, we did good things, we did bad things. Our emphasis is going to be on that fourth quarter. We're going to have to keep teams down when we, have them in the coffin. We're going to have to put nails in the coffin. We can't keep letting teams back in our own game, especially on their home court.
Well, Anthony, thanks for your performance tonight. I'm sure on behalf of the Knicks right now, and thanks for spending some time with us. And a solid game by you, and we appreciate you coming in. Now, we know you're in a hurry to get to Cleveland.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
Now let's get back to Marv Albert.
All right, John, our guests receive the American Express gift check. Think of it as a universal certificate that can be used to buy anything just about anywhere. Gift checks available where American Express travelers' checks are sold. Also, our guests receive Bulova timepieces. Bulova make every minute count with timeless elegance and precision design. The Marine Star Collection from Bulova. Well, the Knicks over the Celtics here in Boston, 111-108. We'll be back in just a moment. Here in Boston, this after all kinds of problems winning up in Boston. They had dropped 23 straight during the regular season over one stretch. One of the reasons that the Knicks were able to hang on and were victorious, the player of the game, our Nat West Bank player of the game, Patrick Ewing, who finished with 30 points, including 12 for 12 from the foul line.
Patrick coming up in big moments of this game. His foul shooting was also assisted as far as big shots by this jump shot in the closing moments of the game that turned the game in the Knicks' direction.
So Ewing, our player of the game, the Knicks victorious tonight over the Celtics.
The Bud Dunk of the Game is brought to you by Budweiser, fresh, pure, natural, proud to be your Bud.
And John, the Bud Dunk of the game.
Yes, it's nice to see Bud back for the dunk of the game. Charles Smith in close, getting that nice pass, a little fake, and Charles enjoyed the Bud Dunk of the game.
So the New York Knicks have defeated the Boston Celtics 111-108 opening night in the NBA. Now the Knicks move on to face the Cavaliers at the Coliseum in Richfield. That will be our next Knicks telecast starting at 6:30 with Knicks game night on Sunday night. John, coming up next, the Brute Hockey Week program, which I know you'll be disappointed to find out will be joined in progress.
Quick move, Bob, to the right. And then the slow recovery by Horace Grant to get to the weak side. Again, free throw shooting so vitally important. This would be an opportunity. Trade on him, and you got Steve Kerr. They both jump. Quick release. And I just missed one the previous possession, but again, that shooter's been
10. You see the time in the bottom right.
Isolation play for Larry Johnson. They call this their Dallas play.
He loses it. It's going to be Chicago with a victory here, almost certainly. 4 points.
The game. We have overtime. Bob, I told you to buckle up. That's why I don't like to let him get the three-point shot off. That's the only thing right there that can beat you. Johnny Newman hits about a 25 to 30-footer at the buzzer. If they would have grabbed him right there, right then, and not let him get the shot off, it's only a you, two free throws, the game is over.
Remember the playoffs. Craig Hodges, Trent Tucker, when you were coaching. Foul him, don't let him shoot it. He shot it, it's overtime. 5 minutes more coming back.
Brett Burkett just goes up and takes this ball away, and that's why he's happy. That ball, I mean, that was his all the way. He went up and took it. Boomer fired the ball into the end zone. There was excellent coverage into the end zone, and Burkett just goes up and takes it away.